and welcome to Moneylife. This is Sucheta Dalal. We're talking about something different and interesting this time. I'm sure all of you, like me for sure, are really worried when you do digital transactions. We have no option. We have to do it. We buy things online because it's so simple, it's easy. And yet, aren't you constantly worried about what happens if you get conned? What happens if you don't recognize a fake site? And then you look at TV serials and gangs of people operating who are so good at defrauding you. One of the things that I've noticed in the last few days is that cyber fraud apparently gets handled very quickly. So people file police complaints, and there have been several reports where the police are able to recover big chunks of the money and catch the fraudsters in less than 48 hours. I wondered what was going on. And then I discovered something called CyberSafe. Believe it or not, this quietly successful app launched by the Ministry of Home Affairs, that too, a government app, like a public private partnership, along with a whole bunch of private fintech players, is what is making all the difference. And I want to tell you about it because I think this is important for each one of us who does online transactions. It says there is hope, things are working, and it's a government app that is making a difference. The second is that you can also track whether the call that you're responding to, the phone number, is fraudulent. So let me go step by step. Like I said, the secret behind the newfound efficiency on the part of the police is an app called CyberSafe. We're putting up the name there, CyberSafe. We will also give you a link to where you can go and look at the website. This app debuted very quietly in August 2019 to crack down on galloping cyber fraud. Now, like I said before, it's a initiative of the Ministry of Home Affairs. As yet, it is still in phase development and a pilot program, and it has been developed jointly by FICN, which is, believe it or not, a group for fake Indian currency notes. It's called FICN Coordination Group, FCORD, putting it up there. Doesn't matter. It's not important. Just know that these are government agencies working with private fintech. The objective, they say, is to make digital payment ecosystems so safe and secure, enhance the faith of people like me who are worried, and assist law enforcement agencies to crack down fast. That is the part from where I began to see things happening. So here's the website, www.cybersafe.gov.in. What it is really an information sharing platform which connects fintech entities and, on the other side, a large network of thousands of law enforcement agencies. They say law enforcement agencies, they really mean the police stations directly. And they've been onboarding them one by one. So in India, about 19 states and union territories are part of it. Some of them, like Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, are using it much more effectively, and there is where you see results. And fintech companies have been joining bit by bit. Now, what is unique about cyberspace safe is that it is created a central repository of fraudsters' numbers. So each time a fraud is caught, particular SIM card that is used, a SIM number, it is put into a repository. So the idea is one SIM, one fraud. That's the motto, which means that the same SIM number, once used in a fraud, gets into the database, acts as a protection because people know that this is fraudulent, probably gets blocked, never be used once again for committing fraud. Let's hope it works. So what the app does is track the mobile numbers used by fraudsters. And because it's linked with the fintech companies, they quickly trace the flow of funds, sometimes through two or three entities. So victim to fraudster to flow of funds tracked on a real-time basis. And the minute you go and register a police complaint, the police are able to use CyberSafe, the app, and track the flow of funds literally in minutes. So where the money has gone is communicated to the police. This is followed by regular police action. They go there, freeze the accounts, catch the people, the regular policing takes over. So let me give you an example which is there on the website. So a cyber fraud of 6.58 lakh was reported by a 78-year-old person from Udaipur. He went to the police, they entered the data into CyberSafe. It revealed that the fraudster was operating. Remember, this man is in Udaipur, the fraudster is in Jharkhand. Further revealed that the funds were credited to three State Bank of India cards and used to buy expensive mobile phones, which are again sold cheap by the fraudsters to make money. This information was provided to the state police in Udaipur literally in minutes. The gang was tracked, substantial amount of the money was recovered. Now, CyberSafe's success is evident from the numbers that it has put out on the website over the past 34 months. So remember, in the early days it was slow, it's now gaining traction. So the latest data is of 22nd July 2022, again putting it up there with charts. It says over 151,360 phone frauds were reported on cyberspace. That many police stations. Because it's important to know that you cannot report a cyber fraud. You have to go to the police station, and the police are the ones who can use it. Why do they do this? Because then it's a verified number put up by the police. So there's one layer of verification that's eliminated. This has allowed CyberSafe to capture 132,000 phone numbers of fraudsters and 28,446 bank accounts into this centralized negative database or the central repository. The numbers grow every day. It's, like I said, unknown to the public because it's not meant to be used by you and me. The police are able to use it. The platform is supposed to help them and to help fintech companies. At the moment, 19 fintech companies are on board. Airtel Payments Bank is supposed to have played a big role in developing CyberSafe. Kudos to them. And a recent, really important entrant, from my perspective, I've just started using UPI about a month ago, is the National Payments Corporation of India. It's a big daddy. It's the creator of UPI. UPI has made, and of course, IMPS, which is an immediate payment system. It's made waves globally because of the number of people using UPI. You know that your hawker on the street has a UPI QR code and it can be used instantly. So remember how important it is to us. So here's a chart of all the fintech entities who are integrated into cyberspace, CyberSafe, and more are joining as we speak. Like I said, on the other side, law enforcement agencies or police stations, not you and me. But data captured by CyberSafe largely reflects the extent of usage by particular states which have adopted it faster. Like I said earlier, West Bengal is big, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Uttarakhand. I mean, if you are from states other than these, push your police stations, tell them about CyberSafe, keeps your money safe, right? So sources tell me that they have now begun to integrate banks, which is the third phase of development. So first was the few fintech that had gotten. Second was NCPI, the big daddy. Third phase, bit by bit, the banks. The fourth phase, like I said, it's still a pilot. The fourth phase will be when telecom service providers are integrated. And this will really make the repository of fraudsters probably much bigger than it is now. One interesting thing that we can use is that if you go to the website, and here's the address, cybersafe.gov.in, and you can enter a mobile number, or an account number, or a UPI ID, click verify, as I'm showing in the chart above, and you will get to know whether the number that you've entered is in the negative repository. If it is, don't deal with them. I put my own number, thankfully it's not there. So essentially, CyberSafe addresses two key issues connected with online fraud. First, ease of reporting. It's not that easy. You still have to go to the police, but ease of reporting because they get data in seconds through the fintech companies. Second, really important, it is going to prevent a repeat of the fraud by the same SIM number. So it's not that they can move on from one state to another. Hopefully, that's how it will work. The success rate of the low-key CyberSafe app should, in the natural course, lead to major shakeup in fraudsters' operations, and it should address a couple of other challenges. In fact, we've been talking about this. We've done other videos, and I understand that the same team that developed this app is also working on something called FinSafe, an application that would allow users to lodge a complaint, auto-generate a tweet, so use social media, and register their complaint. So that is going to address the second part that I talk about, which is ease of use. Moneylife had an article written by Mr. Nandkumar Sarvade, who is the ex Chief Executive Officer of Data Security Council of India, himself an IPS officer. And again, link up there if you want to know more, where he talked about the large discrepancy between the incidence of reported fraud and actual fraud. So, this is a big challenge for CyberSafe. It's yet unknown. So, until the usage increases, and it's chicken and egg, the minute more people use, they need more ability to handle things, they need storage. So, all that has to happen simultaneously in this pilot project. So, Mr. Sarvade had written about how the Ken, which is a digital magazine, in an article had mentioned that the number of reported monthly digital frauds is about 80,000. The actual number, they said, maybe 5 times as many, and the losses are about 200 crore. That's huge, right? On the other hand, the official numbers for the year 2020, published by the annual Crime in India report, National Crime Records Bureau, was just 30,142. All of us who have used digital transactions know that national records are low. Ken has much higher numbers, more realistic. The real numbers may be even higher. So, CyberSafe will have that much of a load when more and more people use it. Mr. Sarvade had made another interesting suggestion, which is since fintech and NCPI are already integrated, he says, why not have a prominent button on each of the fintech apps where if there is a wrong transaction or you've been defrauded, you can just click it right there, and like this tweet that goes out, it probably goes to social media or goes to a repository, but you have to be able to report it really, really quickly. So if this idea is adopted to refine the app, I think it would be even more successful. As we know, ease of UPI and IMPS payments and the extraordinary high rate of adoption have brought world recognition to NCPI. It's now part of this. NCPI has the resources. Reserve Bank of India has the resources to pour into this because the money is meant to keep investors safe. And we want to see the government use it. It's wonderful to have a good news story coming from the government that CyberSafe works, and it's still a pilot. We hope it grows, it remains successful, and builds confidence among all of us about using online transactions, especially for senior citizens, because they are the most worried. It's impossible to tell the difference between real websites and fake websites. So there'll be a lot more to integrate. But for once, we have great news coming in. Kudos, CyberSafe, and we're looking forward to more from you. If you like what I said, share it. It's important. Thank you, and do subscribe to Moneylife.